So, my dear friends, I am happy to be with you this evening, and I look forward to your being happy too. Let us enjoy next approximately 25 to 30 minutes where I will be sharing some important points regarding preparation of UPSC. So my pleasure is always to mention what I think is the most important point, and that most important point is my absolute, unconditional, eternal best wishes for all of you. May you find all success in life, and in at least my value system there is something above success, that is happiness in life. So I extend my best wishes for you to find happiness in life. Success and happiness, both. Now I did say initially that my best wishes are eternal and unconditional. But now, in the light of the subject I am going to talk to you, UPSC preparation, I am just going to modify one word, and instead of saying my best wishes are unconditional, I am saying my best wishes are conditional, and there is one condition. And that condition is for you to develop into clean and efficient Karyakarta Adhikaris who would serve Bharat Mata. That is my condition. Preparing for UPSC and then joining any service and working with Government of India is a major responsibility. It places you in a certain position of power, and our job is to remember not to let that power go to our head, and more importantly to remember that power comes with great responsibility, and that power is to serve people. Serving people itself is serving the nation, and serving people is the best form of serving Bharat Mata. That is what Swami Vivekananda also told us. Serving people is same as serving the nation. And by joining the service, how do we serve the nation? I want to say that it is pretty simple. It is by developing into clean and efficient officers. Two conditions. We need to fulfill both. To our misfortune, we may come across officers who may be clean, but they are not necessarily efficient. So with all due respect, I have called those who are clean but not efficient as useless. Pretty sharp word, because I am not talking about any one particular person. We don't want officers who are clean but not efficient. Unfortunately, we also come across officers who are efficient but not clean. I call them dangerous. They are dangerous. They know how to work through the system, but in the process they have their own cuts and commissions, etc. Our dream, my dear friends, is to have officers who are both clean and efficient. They know how to work through the system. They understand the constitution, the laws, and the system of functioning. They are efficient, that files do not remain pending on their table for like more than 24 hours. And their image of clean and efficient officers makes them effective. So our word, also in the work that I have undertaken for now 26 years, the Chanakya Mandal Parivar, the word we use for such clean and efficient officers is Karyakarta Adhikari. Those who think of themselves as Karyakartas of Bharat. So they are Adhikaris, officers, but they are Karyakarta Adhikaris. And that is my condition, that all of us develop into Karyakarta Adhikaris. That is the first step in preparation of UPSC. The first step in preparation of UPSC is not only to see the syllabus of the exam, but all such steps are the steps that follow. The first step is a firm resolve, sankalpa, a determination that I will develop into this clean and efficient Karyakarta Adhikari who serves the people, which means who serves the country, the nation, in service to Bharat Mata. And then everything needed to be done is in the light of our development as Karyakarta Adhikaris. UPSC Civil Service exam is considered as India's toughest exam. And IIT people may challenge that and may claim that no, IIT entrance is the toughest one. And in order to solve the contest, I will say that both are India's toughest exams. They are toughest in different ways. For example, IIT preparation is more focused on science, maths, and therefore engineering kind of subjects. As compared to the syllabus for IIT exam, entrance exam, the UPSC Civil Service exam is literally infinite. It is so vast as to be correctly described as infinite. So UPSC syllabus would have entire history of India, mind you. All ancient, medieval, modern, and all post 1947 history, right down to today, and that will also then include the whole world, mind you. History. The second component in the compulsory subject general studies, the second component happens to be current events, and that is current events at the state level, at the national level, and at the international level. And current events in absolutely all walks of life. All walks of life. This is irrespective of your personal educational background or likings or dislikings. As UPSC aspirant, you will be required to study, remember, and state in the exam in any which form and the whole spectrum from any scientific development. For example, recently a new asteroid, not steroid. Steroids are discovered, developed, but I'm talking of asteroid. The first ever asteroid heading in the direction of the Earth, and the asteroid which has come into our solar system from outside the solar system, mind you. And you will be required to know that, study that, from that to the latest developments in Ukraine war and China-Taiwan situation and the face-off between India and China in Galwan and so on and so forth. Or also the Oscar award recently announced. Any field, all walks of life, sports, movies, culture, politics, anything. Second component in general studies is current events. Third one happens to be geography, and it is geography of the state, India and the world. So all issues from climate change to the basic terms in geography. And repeat this for the component called polity, the fourth component called polity. This will be focused on India's constitution, but you will be required to study the world democratic constitutions and economy. That too will be focused on Indian economy. That too focused on Indian economy after 1991. But in order to understand Indian economy after 1991, you will have to understand the whole global economy. Like even the current issue, the position of dollar being challenged by RMB, this is the Chinese international currency, or petrodollar, or Russia and China seeking to come together to undermine the dollar, and so on and so forth. So economy. And sixth, last but not least, equally important factor is science and technology. I will repeat once that general studies is a compulsory component. It is there for prelims, there for mains, and it continues to figure even in the interviews which are going on right now. That GS has these 6 subcomponents, and you are required to study all of them in pretty depth, great depth, mind you. So personally, you may have an arts or commerce degree, but you will be expected to be deeply knowledgeable about the science component. And conversely, you may have an engineering degree. An increasing number of engineers are now turning to civil service exam. There are many reasons for which I welcome this process, and I wish all the best for everyone. But then, you may be engineer, you may be MBBS doctor, but you will be required to be deeply knowledgeable about Indian history and India's geography and India's economy and India's constitution and all. It is in that sense that probably UPSC exam will be way more tough than IIT exam. Then in IIT, there is negative marking, and for a wrong answer, triple the marks for that question are deducted from your actual score. On that count, UPSC is more kind towards you, because there is negative marking in UPSC also, but it is 1/3. Instead of 3 times, it is just 1/3. And then if you clear prelim in UPSC, you get invited to the main exam, and it is the written essay type exam. In prelim you have GS and CSAT, both 2 hours, 200 mark each, but the CSAT Civil Service Aptitude Test is of a qualifying nature. You are generally required to score 70 marks in it, and then the GS paper will be checked, and whether you get invitation to main exam or not will be based on your score in GS, the cutoff. But minimum score in CSAT is required. Once that is there, then your GS score decides whether you get an invitation to main exam or not. So prelim is objective multiple choice type. And the goal of that prelim exam is to test your command over information. And I am convinced that that is the right way to go about selecting civil service officers. That is because anyone who wants to be an effective officer must have firm grip over basic information and data, and then he or she is supposed to apply one's own mind to interpret that data meaningfully, form one's own opinion, then take a decision, and then effectively implement that decision. But the first stage to be cleared by anyone who wants to be officer is to have excellent grip over basic data. Therefore, the first stage of exam also is objective multiple choice type exam to test your command over information. And then those who prove that command of certain outstanding level, they get an invitation for the main exam. Now the main exam is written and essay type. In the main exam you get questions like discuss, explain, examine, or critically examine, or compare and contrast, or lastly and most importantly, give your opinion. And then in the main exam, you are required to give an answer in like 20 words, 30 words, or 50, 100, 125, 150, 200. Given last couple of years, the maximum UPSC asks you is 300 words. In fact, in the answer sheet, there is a defined place left for you, and you are required to fit your answer within that place, within given word limit. So that is also a skill of having the capacity to summarize among most difficult of the questions in given word limit and still explain all kinds of complications in it. For main exam, you have 4 papers of GS. The GS for prelim gets converted into 3 papers called GS 1, 2 and 3. And for the main exam, there is a new addition called GS 4, that is ethics, integrity and aptitude. And then for the main exam, you are required to pick up 1 optional subject. You have 4 GS papers, 2 papers of optional subject, and 1 full essay paper, wherein normally you are required to write 2 essays of about 1200 to 1500 words each. These are 7 papers of 250 marks each. So the main exam consists of 1750 marks, and you are also required to write a compulsory paper in English and 1 Indian language. These 2 papers are of qualifying nature. You you are required to score certain minimum score there. Then and only then rest of your papers are checked. And then those who score like that defining threshold, the cutoff out of 1750, they get invited for the last and the most important stage of selection process, that is interview. As I talk to you, this year's interviews are going on in Delhi, and even I am personally day in and day out in the process of conducting those mock interviews. If even today I was a couple of minutes late in joining you, that was because I was conducting all India mock interviews online, and the last interview slightly got delayed, so I happened to join a bit late. Now the last stage of interview is where last few selected ones will be invited for actual interview, that is in Delhi, and 5 panel members will be sitting there. You will be entering the interview hall, and approximately 30 minutes the panel will talk to you. UPSC specifies the syllabus for interview, and that whole syllabus can be summarized in couple of very simple words. The syllabus for interview is anything under the sun. So it means the panel can absolutely ask you anything. The panel will have your biodata. It is called DAF, D-A-F, DAF. DAF stands for Detailed Application Form, on which details of your biodata will be entered. So the questions may emerge from that DAF. It also includes your hobbies, etc., achievements, prizes, etc. that you got. So the questions may emerge from DAF. And the second major source of questions for interview is current events. And again, current events of absolutely all walks of life, and current events at state level, national level, global level. And you will be required to be supremely updated on that. Actually, the interview is not officially called interview. Interview is called the personality test. So the first stage of selection, the prelims, is objective multiple choice type, and it is the test of your command over information. Those of us who prove that, they get invited for the main exam, and then the main exam is the test of your command over knowledge. Okay? So what separates information from knowledge is your capacity to meaningfully organize information, draw inferences from that information, and present those informations in your own words, meaningful, precise words, capacity to express in writing. That is our test in the main exam. And then those of us who clear that and get an invitation for the personality test in Delhi, okay, now the interview cum personality test is neither the test of your command over information nor the test of your command over knowledge. It is the test of yourself. Therefore, it is called the personality test. The panel, that is UPSC, wants to actually see you and interact with you for about 30 minutes before they finally decide to select you. And that selection, of course, is going to decide the further 30-35 years of your life, mind you. But then if you are that clean and efficient officer, then you are an asset for the whole society. But if unfortunately some of us become corrupt officers, casteist officers, inefficient officers, insensitive officers, callous, then they are a huge burden for the country. So the selection process and the last stage. In terms of marks, the interview has 275 marks, and that is your personality. That is really how you knock at the door, how you gently push it and ask for the permission, may I come in, sir or madam? Then how you walk in, how you wish the panel good morning, good afternoon, or even namaste is okay. How you keep standing until you are asked to sit down. How you sit down after asked to sit down, but remember to say thank you to the chairperson and make no noise of the chair and sit down in the chair in a balanced and confident way. Interview now and the job in the service will mean you are coming across as confident but not arrogant, and polite but not submissive. That is that beautiful balance in the personality. Then the interview will go on for approximately 30 minutes. This is the selection process. And there are lower and upper age limits and social category wise I will choose not to spend time on that. But you are indeed required to study a whole world really. Preparation of UPSC is never over. No one in the right mind can ever say that now my preparation is complete. It's never complete. You can only say that whatever I prepared has turned out to be sufficient with retrospective effect only after you clear the exam. So my dear friends, I'm going to ask you to hold your breath for next few seconds. Watch the reaction of your own mind when I now share the point I'm about to share. These days our usual experience is that as many as 13 lakh best of the brains in the country fill up the form for the UPSC civil service exam. Now right here, right now I will tell you that when the exam notification comes up and 13 lakh youngsters, presumably best of the brains in the country, fill up the form, then remember that probably double the number, at least double the number has been preparing for the exam, over 25 lakh in the country. But when the notification comes up, about half of them already conclude that I am not yet well prepared and I am not likely to be well prepared by the day of the prelim, so I will not even fill up the form. But about 13 lakh fill up the form. Then on the date of the exam, about half of them actually turn up for the exam and the remaining half develops cold feet and concludes one day in advance that we are still not well prepared, there is no point in turning up for the exam and making a fool of oneself. So they choose not to come up for the exam. Like this year, UPSC prelim is on 5th of June. And more than 13 lakh youngsters have already filled up their form. We know that about 6.5 lakh will turn up for the exam. Another 6.5 lakh is going to conclude by 4th of June that we are not yet well prepared, so they do not turn up for the exam. That is for one simple practical reason. There are restricted number of attempts and your attempt is not counted when you just fill up the form for the exam. The attempt is counted when you enter the exam hall on the day of prelims and you are given a form to sign. Once you sign that form, your attempt is counted. Thereafter, whatever happens, whether you clear prelims or not, etc., the attempt is counted. So about half of those who have filled up the form choose not to turn up for the exam. Now please hold your breath again. Out of those remaining 6.5 lakh who give the prelim, please hold your breath. Out of 6.5 lakh, 10 to 12,000 are invited for the main exam. Out of those 10 to 12,000, about 2,000 are finally invited for the interview. Like this year, the procedure for 2021 civil service exam is going on. Only 1,832 are invited for the interview. And now out of these 1,832, some 732 are going to be selected. Out of those 730, approximately top 100 will be IAS officers. And I am taking a 5-second painful or exciting pause for you to let the reality sink in. I know that mind of some of you may respond with, oh my God. And some of you may start developing, am I up to it? Can I do it? While some others may understand the adventure we are about to perform, may either gather confidence and courage or have a firm resolve that I can do it, they will go on and succeed. And I have always maintained that life is a bigger thing than competitive exam. सितारों से आगे जहां और भी है. But preparation for UPSC will also strengthen our foundation for life. Now as to how to get going preparing, and there are guides. There are guides for prelims, there are guides for main exam, and there are guidebooks for whichever optional you pick up, and there is tremendous reading material, and we are literally required to read in a focused fashion, the UPSC oriented fashion, but thousands and thousands of pages. Plus every day keep track of current events in all walks of life, prepare our notes, then go on solving more than 10,000 multiple choice type questions. So the brain is ready to handle MCQ type exam. Generally when it comes to GS, I have been recommending any one of the 3 guides. It is a GS guide by Spectrum or McGraw-Hill Education or the group called Pearson. Plus depending on your optional, there will be defined books to be read, understood, digested, to be taken notes and whatnot. And then for the main exam, there is a lot of answer writing practice. And for the interview, there is a lot of personality practice, communication skills, also reasonable command over language, etc., and the confidence of presenting oneself. So the whole issue of UPSC civil service preparation is rather huge. I have tried to do justice in preceding 35 to 40 minutes. While there are hundreds of videos, even my videos and many other experts on the YouTube and all, And I am, along with all my faculty members, always there to be with you, with all our best wishes for you. Within the confines of today's topic, I want to come to the closure of my topic. I always like to call it as Panchashila. 5 things, 5 principles that this career gives us. And thereto, for want of time, I'm not going to spare much of a time on each one, but I'm summarizing that career in civil services gives us these 5 things. The first word is indeed good, honest money. I'm not talking of corruption. If you want to take to corruption, don't come to Chanakya Mandal, don't come to civil services. You will be a traitor to the country. Don't even think of civil service. But if you want to join civil service and maintain a higher middle class standard of living on the basis of sattvic money, honestly earned money, civil service does offer you that. So the first word is good, honest money. The second word is security. And the service offers you tremendous security. Once you are selected, rest of your life is secure. Your life partner's life is secure. Kids you would eventually have, sons and daughters, their life is secure. And if your parents, your life partner's parents depend on you, their life is secure. Tremendous security under Article 311 of the Constitution. Third word is status. There is a tremendous social status associated with. You will see that in another month and a half. When UPSC results come out and the names of successful candidates come up, okay? Within 5 minutes, their whole life changes. Their social standing changes. Now they are suddenly, oh my God, he or she has cleared civil service exam. Is selected for any service, mind you, all services are equal. Suddenly, their social status improves. That improves because of the fourth word, and that word is power. Satta, Adhikar, whichever service you are selected for, now you are bound to be in a position of power. And not only that you are bound to be in a position of power, the rocket of your life and career has taken off. It is going to keep going higher and higher ever. So my dear friends, the Panchashil of civil services, UPSC, is good honest money, security, status and power. But all these 4 are and must be byproducts of the 5th Shila, Panchashila. And that 5th thing that civil services offer is an opportunity to serve the country. Desha Bhakti. And that Desha Bhakti is pretty simple. Whichever service you are selected for, and whichever cadre, and whichever you post you work in, being clean and honest officers is Desha Bhakti, service to the country. Being Karyakarta Adhikari is service to the country. So I repeat my infinite, eternal best wishes for all of you. I want to assure you that I am with you all the way. Chanakya Mandal Parivar is with you all the way, with all best wishes to serve as Karyakarta Adhikaris of the country. It gives me immense pleasure that in last 26 years, we have literally thousands of officers working in Maharashtra and all over India and now all over the world, representing India and serving India. So allow me to close by extending these eternal best wishes for all of you too, for success in civil service exam also, and success and happiness in the bigger and the real exam called life. So my dear friends, all my best wishes for all of you. Bless you all.